Hello everyone. I will be recording my session now and discussing the things I like and what I do for work. So I enjoy driving. So I'm here at a park. So we're going to take a little video. It's very hot now. It's hitting 102 degrees, which never happened before in California. But I'm going to walk a little around the park. So here I am walking down this park in the beautiful town of Presidential. I do play tennis here too on Tuesdays, but today I'm just going to walk around. We're going to talk a little bit about what I do for work. You know, yeah, it's beautiful scenery, right? So walking down, and the amazing thing is I don't see any ducks here, and herons. Generally, this place is full of lovely birds, but they're all probably indoors, you know, in their nests, because it's very hot outside. I'm on a bridge here, and here are those beautiful ducks over there. Yeah, ducks there, ducks there. Oh, here's a little squirrel here, I see. I wonder if there are any bunny rabbits here. Yes. What I do is I deal with databases, and I was an Oracle DBA initially, and then I went to SQL Server where I was the team lead, and now I deal with open source databases, you know. So I deal with MySQL and Postgres, and the greatest thing is that I work for a Google startup in Seattle, and there I worked with 135 terabyte database completely on open source MySQL community, you know. And even the operating system was running was Red Hat. It was community operating system, so I was very skeptical on how it would run, but it ran very well, you know. And then I was team lead, where I was handling a group of 15 individuals for an investment bank in California, and I was in charge of the Microsoft databases. But the thing is that it was very hectic, and I hardly would get time for myself. So I would have to work 17-hour shifts, and that was very strenuous for me, you know. So I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore, but it's a very great experience to be in management, just to know what it's like. But you don't need to do that forever. And at the time I realized the greatest thing I wanted was time. The greatest asset missing was time, you know, more than anything else, because they're ready to pay you, but they want you to work more hours, you know. Let's take a pause. Beautiful duck. Look at that. Look at this lovely creature. Adorable. There's another set of ducks here. Yes. Herons. So the challenge in my new work environment is that it's completely automated. It's automated via Terraform. So everything I do, I have to do via automation. I have to do via script, and that makes it more tedious mentally, because now I have to learn the logic of the deployment, logic of the script, which I didn't have to before, you know. So that has changed the way we do work. So let's say I create a database, and let's say there's a mistake with it. There's something I need to change. I just can't go and delete it. I have to run a script to delete that database. So I have to do it via Terraform, and has to go via a Jenkins build. So that makes everything tougher, you know. That makes everything more mentally strenuous. And then you find that now you have to have two knowledge skill sets. One skill set you need for databases. Yes, we have a very good core, but another skill set is for automation. and that's now the automation tool thankfully is just Terraform and Jenkins a little bit. But if we had another language, let's say Ansible, you'd have to learn that too, and you'd have to know the nitty-gritty of each language. You must know where they fail, you must know what it does and what it can't do. So that's a lot of information, there's a lot of logic to think about, and so you have to kind of figure out all that, yeah. And look at these beautiful ducks, and I'm just standing behind them. This naturist techno discussion here with technology and nature. How do you like that? So going futuristically, there's a lot of future because everything is in the cloud now. So everything you do has to be cloud-based. Even your troubleshooting, you have to know how to troubleshoot in the cloud. In the RDS field, we're not talking about Google Cloud Platform right now, but even in AWS, there's a lot of challenge. There's a lot of work, so it's not easy, but we have to master it. It's very unique. Actually, it's easier in the sense of deployment. It's easier that you can click a button and do everything, but it's different, so we have to get acclimatized to that. You need to have an instance, you need to have worked on it at one time, so we need that little more insight, and just because we worked on core databases, that doesn't mean we'd be very good here without that experience, so you need that expertise and you need to work on it hands-on, and then we'd be very good at it. Another two beautiful creatures here, and look at this one's eyes, absolutely beautiful. Oh, lovely. These must be geese, or ducks, right? Ducks and geese, yeah. So this is the last leg of my recording, and I want to say that we work a lot on virtualization. So we have VirtualBox on the laptop and several databases like SQL Server, Oracle RAC, and now we have open source. But everything's going to be automated. So we need a better programming language to automate everything. Ansible has defects. Terraform has a very strict writing policy. It has a very strict way of how you can write your code, but I prefer Ansible's code any day. But Ansible, if it stops in the middle, it loses all the track and information of what it did in the last few steps. Let's say it had a patch on server 1, and then it loaded some variables on server 1. Let's say we went to server 2 and stopped at step 5. It would lose track of what it did on each server and which step. So that has to be coded specially. So you would have to write code for that. So that's where these languages stop. Okay, folks, thank you so much. I hope you had a good time. Well, this is me in the 102-degree heat, and hopefully it'll get colder. So I'm happy I could record this in a nice park. So thanks and have a nice day. Bye.